Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and we are finally digging in to the most recent Superpowers wave, Wave 10. And you guys might be asking yourselves, hey, just BSing dudes, why did it take you so long to get to Wave 10? And the answer to that is twofold. One, these chase figures lived up to their name. I think between us, we went to every GameStop in our local area. Not one had them. No. Thankfully, had a friend that was able to pick these up at a GameStop out of state and sent this to us. So thank you so much for doing that. And the other reason is, man, I strained my back pretty gnarly. And so I have not been able to record or edit in a long time, but I am just so happy to be back on Just BSing with all of you guys. Several people know about the back thing, and thank you so much for the well wishes. I really appreciate it. Slowly getting better. It's just an old man back. So if you want to make an old cripple feel better, go ahead and drop a like on this video. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Drop your comments down below, and we'll go ahead and dig in to Wave 10. Now, we also do have our crowdfunding order for the McFarlane Super Powers crowdfunding. That is going to be a separate video. We'll save those for a video that we'll record shortly after this one and probably get that up for you guys next week. There may be a longer gap between videos until my back is at 100%, but we will get these videos up as soon as possible. We've also still got a Christopher Reeve Superman McFarlane video that was actually the video I was working on when I strained my back. I will get back to that, and we will get that on the channel very soon as well. Enough of that, let's get into Wave 10, and let's go ahead and start with the pesky chase figures. We'll go ahead and start with this Batman Unmasked, and we'll look at the 360 of the packaging here, and if you'd like to read anything on the back, please pause when that comes up on the screen. Standard Superpowers packaging, as always. Love the Superpowers logo, love those colors. Card art on this one is pretty cool. I actually dig that picture that they used for or Unmasked Batman, I should say. We'll talk a little bit more about the actual figure once we get him out of the package and what he might resemble. Because I've seen some funny things and I can't unsee them. So we'll talk about that here in a second. UPC code for all of you guys still on the hunt for these. GameStop is probably going to be your best bet for that. That is where most people are finding them. That is where our buddy found them. So that is most likely where you're going to have the most luck. All right, let's go ahead and get this Batman Unmasked out of the package. Take a look at him in the flesh. And we have our Batman Unmasked out of the package, and overall, pretty cool. I dig that they did the Bruce Wayne head thing. Kind of makes you wonder if they will do a full Bruce Wayne at some point in the future now that they have the head sculpt. So I mentioned when we were taking a look at the packaging, the things that I've seen that I can no longer unsee, and some folks online have posted some comparison shots of this Batman's face, or Bruce Wayne's face, with both Don Rickles and Bill Hader. And I'll tell you what, I see both of them, and now I can't unsee it. So that is Bill Hader or Don Rickles posing as Bruce Wayne. But no, overall, no, this is a very cool figure. And it's funny, if you take a look at the classic detective Batman, which this one is kind of modeled after, the colors are a little bit different. So that one actually has a bit of a darker gray. Mm-hmm. The blues are about the same, but a little bit of a darker gray. So I guess he's kind of more in shadow or something like that. So they're slightly off, not that big of a deal, but kind of an interesting choice of paint color there.
Yeah, I really like this gray color on him. I think the gray and blue, this is kind of what I really prefer in the Batman with the blue and the gray like that. That one I think is really awesome, lighter gray, but I'm digging this darker gray just a little bit more. The face on this one is Bruce. Yeah, it's something else. I mean, they could have at least added a little bit of color. Everything's just completely black on his eyes and eyebrows, everything there, but the only thing I kind of wish that they would have done, though, is on the cape, is actually give him a cowl like they have in the card art. That would have been kind of cool. Yeah. So good friend Cape Master, and we'll talk about the Cape Master a little bit more later on in this video as well. He has actually done one of those. No kidding.
Yeah, so it's he's got a little sewn-in mask on there, cut the eyes out and everything. It looks really good. We'll pop up an image of that, but did not pick up one of those, but we got some other Cape Master goodies to talk about in just a second. And yeah, I think I agree with you. I do like that color gray a little bit better than this super light gray, which obviously is more akin to the original Kenner Super Powers Batman. It had that really light gray, but I'm kind of a darker gray fan myself. I agree with you on that one. But yeah, I mean, overall, a really solid figure. It's just that face, man. It's funny.
The face is, yeah, definitely funny. Could have been a little bit better, but
little swaffer looking. But then you look at this. I mean, he does have that chin. It matches. It matches the chin.
Yeah, I'm rocking Bruce's hairstyle a bit.
You kind of are, yeah. You kind of are. Throw some gray in the temples. It'd be a nice little Chris figure right there. But no, overall a solid figure. We'll go ahead and give him our Just BSing ranking. Chris, what do you rank the Batman Unmasked?
I like it with, you said, the exception of some of the head sculpting. I really dig that gray color. Yeah. Blue looks like slightly different, but not off by very much.
Ever so slightly different,
Ever so slightly, but I do like that figure a lot. I'm going to give it a good.
Good. I think I'm there with you on a good. I would love to give it a so good because I do like those colors just a little bit better. I actually like this cape a little bit better. It's a bit nicer of a material than this Wave 4 cape, where they were still kind of coming out of that original weird, like ribbony material. So the cape is definitely a step up. But yeah, if the head sculpt was just a little bit more, I guess, symmetrical. He's got a unibrow going on. I don't know if all of them do. Mine has a unibrow going on. I think if that was just a little bit better of a head sculpt, I'd probably be able to kick that up to a so good. But as of now, we're both at good.
Yeah, even if they had like the cowl.
The cowl would have been.
That would have just made it so good.
That would have put it over the top. And it's on the card art.
Yeah,
so it would have matched the card art.
That card art, like you said, is very good. I like that a lot.
Very good. All right, we will move on to our next figure, and that is going to be our Superman Regeneration Suit. All right, we'll take a look at the 360 of the packaging on this guy. Again, solid card art on this one. Definitely different from most of the card art on the Superpowers in that it looks like a bit more modern, but a really cool image of that Regeneration Suit Superman on the front. And yeah, again, here's the UPC code for all of you on the hunt. GameStop gonna be your best bet for this one as well. And we'll go ahead and now get this Regeneration Suit Superman out of the package. Take a look at him a little closer. And we've got Regeneration Suit Superman out of the packaging. We also brought out the Wave 9 Superman for comparison, since it's kind of based off of the same Superman style there with the face and the tan. He's still got his California tan on this figure. But man, I love that face sculpt on this Superman. I kind of wish this face sculpt had been on that one without the mullet, like the shorter hair version, but with this face sculpt. Like, I didn't have a problem with the smile on Wave 9. I know that was something you didn't care for too much. A lot of people didn't care for too much, but I like this one. I like this one a lot.
Yeah, this is a really good detailed like Superman. I really like the emblem that they have on there. It's got the nice two-tone.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah,
that's really cool. Comparing to the card art, the logo is a lot smaller, and he's not showing shoulder like he is, a little bit. Shoulder on the card art, but I like this guy. I think this is a lot more comic accurate than the card art itself. But yeah, this face sculpt looks really amazing. A little bit tan for somebody who's been dead for a good couple months.
Well, he's regenerating. Tan is the first thing to come back.
Yeah, he was in the tanning bed the whole time. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Mullet is awesome. I like the way that they did that. Yeah, they gave him the blue eyes still and everything. But this is the character that I've definitely been hoping that they were going to make.
Yeah, he was on our top 10 most wanted Superman variants. Yeah, man, I agree. I love that two-tone on the symbol. And I have also brought out for comparison the Man of Steel Kenner from the 90s Regeneration Suit figure, so that we can take a look at how these guys stack up, and they scale really well together. So this is another, like, if you're looking for some figures to add to your Superpowers collection that scale in the same way, this Man of Steel line was fantastic. We're actually going to be talking about that a little bit more later on in another video, but cannot recommend this line enough. There's some really cool figures in there, but this is another great Regeneration Suit Superman, and in fact was the inspiration for why this figure made our top 10 Superman variants, because we were thinking of this one, and as you can see, how they stack up together. And so now I know this figure obviously is not one that wears a cape, or this suit does not have a cape, but I always liked to have a cape on mine when I was a kid, and I put an old Robin cape on this figure. And so this is how he was for most of my childhood, with the cape on.
Nice.
And you know what? Someone else who really loves capes and wants to add to the cape factor is the Cape Master. And he has sent us a wonderful cape to add to this McFarlane figure. And this one actually has the symbol on the back in silver.
Really nice.
If you want to do like a Zack Snyder Justice League Superman with the black suit and the cape, there you go. You got that option right there. Cape Master, he of course designed this cape with this figure especially in mind. So he's got where that clip just slides right under the mullet, fits in there perfectly.
Yeah,
so.
I really like that cape edition. That is really cool.
Me too. If you are not on the Cape Master train, I highly recommend you get on it. I actually got a couple of more Cape Master capes that we'll be talking about a little bit later on as well. But yeah, I love that. I love the cape. I love all of these figures. And yeah, really happy that this one was included. I know a lot of people don't want any more Superman, don't want any more Batman. But I tell you what, I'm liking a lot of those variants that they're putting out, and also like that they're, in this wave especially, doing something a little bit different. Just not straight repaints. They're doing something a little bit different with them. So that is pretty cool as well. We'll go ahead and give this our Just BSing ranking. I'll start this one off. I'm giving this one a so good.
Same here. So good with this one.
Oh man, so you didn't even give this guy a so good, but we're giving the Regeneration Suit a so good. I love it.
This one hit every.
It's really good.
Every
really
checkbox for me there.
I agree. Excellent. So good for both of us. And now we can get into the core four of this wave. We'll go ahead and start with Batman's sidekick here. We've got Jason Todd Robin. And also makes an excellent Dick Grayson Robin if you would like to use him as Dick Grayson. It's got the very similar look there. In fact, it looks like the card art, as we take a look at this, 360 of the card art is Dick Grayson. I don't think that's the Jason Todd Robin.
I don't think so either.
But that's an interesting choice. But that's all right. That's all right. Still a very cool picture of Robin there. Again, pause if you want to read the description on the back. We'll take a look at the UPC code, and we will go ahead and get Jason Todd Robin out of the packaging. Take a closer look at him. And Jason Todd Robin out of the package. And yeah, man, this is like when I think of a Robin Super Powers action figure, this body style, this mold, the karate chop, classic karate chop hand, that's what I think of. Love that they kind of, pay homage to that original Kenner. Man, is it me or is Jason's head a little bit big?
He does have a big head.
He's got a big noggin, for that body.
Maybe it's just his hair's poofed or something, but
maybe so.
No, I think he does have a slightly bigger head.
He's got a little bit of a big noggin. Let's take a look at the previous two Robins and the Tim Drake Robins. And kind of see for comparison. Yeah, it may be a little bit of that hair is making his head look a little bit bigger because the face itself doesn't look that much bigger than these two Tim Drakes. But no, very, very good face sculpt, even though it is just maybe a tad too big for the body. I really like that a lot. I am noticing that the scales on the underwear are not there, which is typically what you'd see on the Robins.
Yeah, I do like it how he does look like a boy. It's a boy wonder.
Right,
so I think they did a really good job with that. And just as we were opening the package for him, I was sitting there thinking, he was the second Robin, so it's possible this was the first time that he would put on or don the Robin costume, so he hadn't updated it to be more his style.
Right.
I'm guessing that's what they went with it.
It's like the first appearance.
Yeah, the first appearance. So you get to use the hand-me-down clothing from his big brother. I do love the little booties, and I do love how they have like the little heel.
They do, yeah. That looks really cool. That's really cool. I would say that arguably the cape is a tad bit long.
Yes, 100%. The cape is, I think, too long. It's almost dragging on the floor.
Almost. But you know what? Again, we're going to talk about the Cape Master. He's actually sent us 3 different options here for Jason Todd Robin. So if you'll remember, the prototype image had that collar yellow so that it kind of flowed into the cape. And what they did was they kind of made that lapel, as they do with a lot of their capes, a little bit longer so it could kind of drape around and look like a collar, but it doesn't really do it all the way. So, and the cape is a little bit long, as we said. So Cape Master to the rescue. Our first option is a colored cape that you can kind of slip, that you can kind of slip over here, throw that onto your Jason Todd Robin, and now he's got the full collar going on with the cape. That looks very cool. Probably my favorite option that the Cape Master has done.
That is really cool. Yeah,
But
I hadn't seen anything like that before.
Yeah. But if you don't want something like that, and you want to do just kind of the classic Robin cape, and don't mind that red collar kind of sticking out, there's the classic yellow Robin cape in the length that I think is probably more appropriate for Robin.
Yes.
So that one looks great. But if you're still not satisfied, and you don't want a yellow cape, you're like, man, I want my Jason Todd Robin to look a little bit more updated, have that two-tone black and yellow, you can do that as well. So Cape Master also has the black and yellow cape that you can put on your Jason Todd Robin, or any of your Robins, really. This would go for the Tim Drake just as easily. A little bit short probably for Tim Drake, but still looks really, really good. And you get that two-tone look. I really like that. I love those two-tone capes quite a bit. This one may go on a different figure, but I think for me, my favorite cape is that collar cape. I think that is the one that I'm going to be rocking on my Jason Todd Robin. So go ahead and throw that back on, get that collar going.
Yeah, that's definitely cool.
That's the one. That's the one for me. So guys, definitely, again, check out Cape Master. We've got his information down below, and I'm sure most of you watching are very familiar with his work already, and he will take care of you, give you some excellent capes to enhance your Superpowers action figures. So let's go ahead and rate this one as well. Now we're gonna rate him with the original cape in mind, not with this Cape Master cape, because this would kick up my rating if that's the cape that he came with. But we will not give extra credit for someone else's work, so we'll just go with the cape that he came with in our rating. Chris, why don't you give me your rating first?
Ooh, I don't know with this one. I did like it. It's nowhere near a so good rating for me.
Okay.
I am kind of just teetering between good and not BS on it.
Okay.
The main reason why I'm kind of contemplating it was just because, you know, it is Jason Todd, and that is more of the Dick Grayson Robin outfit. Now, if they kind of just mentioned that, yes, this was his the first time wearing it, like first appearance, you know, on the packaging, then I would say, yeah, that's a total good rating. I'm going to go ahead and just leave it as good.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that's about where I am also. Wasn't quite down to a not BS for me. I think that, you know, being that it is an accurate, like a, you know, comic accurate first appearance look, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
It does look great with Batman. So you put him next to Batman. That is very much a dynamic duo. So those two do look very good together. Slightly large head, missing the scales on the trunks, but I love this. I love the sculpt. I love the judo chop, the karate chop. I love it. I'll tell you what, if it came with a cape like this, that would have been probably so good for me. Actually makes the head look more proportionate.
It really does.
And it just looks better. But again, we're not going to rate it on someone else's work. So with the cape that it came with and everything else, I'm with you there. I think it's a good, not quite a so good, not bad enough to be a not BS. So,
right.
Yeah, good for both of us as well. And now we will move to the next figure, and let's go ahead and take a look at Ray Palmer's The Atom. And again, pretty good card art there. Looks pretty accurate to the comic and the figure. So those are matching up pretty well. You can take a look at the description on the back, as well as the UPC code, again, for those of you still on the hunt for these. So we'll go ahead and get Ray Palmer's Atom out of the package and take a look at him a little bit closer. All right, we got our Ray Palmer Atom out of the package, and this is another one, man. The head looks a little bit big, especially like the top of his head. It's kind of egg-headed.
Yeah, he's got a nice big cranium.
Got a big old cranium. He's a smart guy. He's a smart guy.
Exactly.
And something that Chris noticed as we were just taking him out of the package is on the card art, the ears are covered by the mask. On the figure, it is not, which is a little bit more comic accurate to the Silver Age style of Ray Palmer's Atom. So that works really well.
Yeah. I think it is very, very comic accurate for the Silver Age Atom. Said I was excited to have this character because he was one of my kind of favorite heroes that didn't get like a lot of recognition, got more popularity, I guess, with Brandon Routh's character.
Right.
But yeah, I really like this one. I mean, it is just kind of the plain kind of two-tone colors, you know, but it works great, my opinion.
Yeah, man, I agree. This looks really cool. Very simple figure. I almost kind of wish they'd have put this one on the Blue Beetle body versus the Flash body.
Maybe that's what I was looking at. I was trying to figure out which body it was.
Yeah, that's definitely the Flash body. I would have, I think, preferred the Blue Beetle body. It's a little smaller and probably better for the Atom in my opinion. But with, I mean, the head sculpt that they chose, I think this body is probably a little bit more proportionate. But yeah, not at all upset about it. It's just kind of got, it's that early wave McFarlane, legs kind of closer together, a little bit bigger up top, whereas the Blue Beetle was an excellent superpower style figure. But again, not too upset about it. What I am upset about is that it didn't come with a smaller Atom figure that you could include with it, which is why I had to go out and buy another figure. This is probably by design. McFarlane does this on purpose, so you buy more of his figures. But you get the 7-inch figure. This was the 7-inch digital collection Ray Palmer Atom action figure, and that one did come with a smaller Atom. So now you get the 3 sizes of the Atom. That actually looks really cool. I like that quite a bit. So get them all lined up there. That works out well.
Oh yeah, that works out really well. And I mean, for the most part, the costumes are almost spot on with each other. I think the Super Powers one, maybe the gloves aren't quite as long, or maybe they're a little longer.
They're a little bit longer, and the belt is a little bit different, but I mean,
hey, they got the exposed ear.
They got the exposed ears.
Cool.
The colors are dead on. Yeah, no, I really like this one, especially when you put them all together like that. That is a very, very cool image. So if you guys are looking for a smaller Atom, actually, Nerd Candy Toys, he did make a smaller Atom, actually smaller than this. So you could go ahead and purchase this action figure to get these two and get that small Atom from Nerd Candy Toys, and then you got a like shrinking and growing action all the way down to tiny and all the way back up to 7-inch size. So now that's very cool. I will go ahead and kick off the rating on this one. I think this is a very high good for me. It's not quite so good just because again, I think it would have probably looked better on that Blue Beetle body. So I'm gonna go good for this Ray Palmer Atom.
I'm pretty much the exact same.
Okay.
For some reason, I was really excited when it was coming out, but something just isn't doing it for me as well as like the Superman one did.
Yeah.
But this one, I think, is a solid good for me.
Yeah. So both good for Ray Palmer's Atom. Very solid figure, though. And we will get into another solid figure. This is the Garrick Flash. Take a look at the card art, the information on the back. Now this one, the card art, I'm not a big fan of, to be honest with you. It looks a little funny, kind of running kind of from off the card there.
It looks Golden Age to me.
It is very Golden Age. Something that I'm seeing on the figure that's not on the card art is gray temples. The figure has gray temples, the card art does not.
Oh, interesting, okay.
Take a look at the UPC code for those of you on the hunt for this one as well, and we'll go ahead and get Garrick Flash out of the package. And we've got Garrick out of the package, and I'll tell you what, man, like out of the package, I like this one a lot. Now this, of course, is also on the Flash body, which makes sense. He's another Flash, so you would put him on the Flash body, and we can compare him with the other 2 Flashes that came before him, which are essentially the same figure, just repainted, but one is Barry Allen, one is Wally West, and now we have the 3 different Flashes all together. I love on the Garrick that they got the wings on the boots. Kind of funny, they're not in the same position on mine.
I was gonna say, can you move it, or because that one looks like it's like pointed down a little bit. The other one looks straight.
It cannot be moved. One is just a slightly different position on mine. This is not going to be the case for everyone. So you probably don't have this issue, or you might have a worse issue. Who knows? I did see someone online post that as soon as they took their Garrick out of the package, one of the wings popped off.
Oh, jeez.
And they had to glue it on. But that did not happen here. It's just one is kind of in a different position. So we got some cockeyed wings there on Garrick's boots, and actually his helmet too. You can see it on his helmet too.
Look at that.
So
wow.
So
come on.
yeah, so a little bit of a disappointment there as far as quality control goes, but overall, a solid figure. I love the way he looks, just classic Garrick style. Another JSA member to add to your collection. I'm overall very happy with that, despite the wings being in different positions.
Yeah, and I do like you were saying how he has the gray on the temples. It's a man of my
after your own heart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love the lightning bolt coming out of his pants like that. That's very, very, very nice there.
Yep.
But yeah, this is another solid figure. I think this was the one that we were almost most excited for.
That's the one I was most excited for, yeah.
Yeah, and just having him in hand, I do like it a lot. Some of these little issues, the quality control there, and his helmet's also kind of like droopy in the back, kind of interesting. So, golly, that all these little things that we're seeing with him in hand now has just kind of been like, taking it down just a little bit for me.
Yeah, unfortunately that will have to bump it down a little bit, but all things perfect, this would be an excellent figure.
Oh, yeah.
Still is an excellent figure. It's just, I mean, like I said, this isn't going to be the case for everyone. So some people are going to have one, that does not have these issues. Just that quality control is always kind of a challenge. But overall, not at all upset with this figure. We'll go ahead and give it our rating. I'll kick this one off as well. This is going to be another good for me. It would have been so good if everything was perfect. Unfortunately, it's not, so it will have to be bumped down to a good.
Yeah, 100% rating the exact same way, same reasons why. The quality control, that is a little bit of an issue there. I was joking that, maybe we should keep it in the package. It's a variant because it got issues, Now it's going to be, who has a perfect Jay Garrett?
Yeah, if your Jay Garrick is perfect, let us know down in the comments or follow us on Instagram and share your photos with us. But yeah, I've seen just depending on the batch that you get, man, you're going to have either better or worse issues than that. So yeah, it's.
I want to see some of those worse ones now.
Well, like I said, the worst that I saw was the wing that popped off.
Yeah.
But the good thing about that is, if it had been crooked, when you glue it back on, you can glue it back on in the same position as the other one.
Yeah,
so
very true.
maybe I'll rip one off just so I can glue it back into the right position. But no, it's a solid figure, a good for both of us.
Yep.
And to the final figure of Wave 10, we've got the main man, we've got Lobo. And this is a massive Lobo. This is a huge figure. Obviously, it's very heavy, it's especially in comparison to the other ones. Take a 360 look at the packaging. The card art is awesome. I love that card art on there. It does not look like the figure in the slightest.
Nah, card art is great. I love his logo, Lobo logo. That looks amazing.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a fantastic Lobo logo, as you said. And the description on the back is funny, and it's absolutely true. It's crude, rude, and nearly impossible to kill. So very accurate description of Lobo. Here's the UPC logo again for you guys on the hunt still. And we'll go ahead and get this figure out of the package. And here is the main man out of the package. And man, that is a huge figure. We'll just have him compared to Superman here. Wow, that
is funny.
That is a big figure. Now, a lot of people have been having a problem with the scale of this one, and in fact, several people asked when we did our review, please compare him to the other big figures, Kilowog and Darkseid, and we will do that right now. And we can see that Lobo is a good bit bigger than both of those, which, not quite comic accurate. I think Lobo should be a little bit smaller, should definitely be smaller than Darkseid, and should probably also be a little bit smaller than Kilowog.
Yes.
And I'm not a scale person, I don't really care that much. This one even kind of bugs me a little bit. It's just a little bit too big.
Yeah, definitely a very big figure. I am a little disappointed that he is so much bigger than everybody. Like you were saying, Darkseid, that's a Wave 1 character, so maybe they're still trying to figure out their scaling. So maybe they'll come out with a non-52 version Darkseid, maybe a classic style.
Maybe.
This Lobo, as we kind of mentioned previously, definitely took more of the animated version of it. And I think in the animated series, he is quite a bit bigger.
I tell you what, though, that animated series or not, I do dig the animated series style. I know that's not everyone's favorite. I'm a big fan of it. It probably would look better kind of more in a classic superpower style if it looked like the card art. That would be great. But I'm not upset about that. The scale is a little egregious there. That's just a little bit too big.
As you pointed out, he's also got the cloth vest, so it's kind of cool.
That is very cool, yeah.
You can take that off, just like kind of all the other characters have the capes and everything.
Now, there's some great things about this figure, and he still looks good. He still looks good next to all of these other figures. He's just a tad too big and a tad too animated series style for the Superpowers line. This would actually look really good with the animated series line that Kenner did back in the, I guess that was in the 90s. But with Superpowers even, still looks pretty good. I'm not at all upset about that. We'll get the kind of classic Superman, pit him up against that, and that's a solid battle right there.
That's a very solid battle.
As big as he is. Now, what does disappoint me is no Space Hog. No Space Hog with Lobo, and I don't know if that's something that will come out later or not, but I definitely would like to have a Space Hog with this Lobo and probably some chains too. And again, I think Nerd Candy Toys has done some of those or is currently working on doing some of those that you can add to your Lobo action figure. But overall, man, it's It's a really cool looking figure. I do love the detail of the cloth goods vest. That really adds just that extra special touch to him because it didn't have to be. That could have easily been painted on.
Yeah.
And so that looks very cool. And it does come off. So you could just have your Lobo in a tank top and, you know, still looks solid.
This is, I think, the first character that had a cloth piece different from a cape. We did have Wonder Woman that had a lasso, I believe.
Right, but that wasn't necessarily cloth. That was more like string, yeah.
So this is the first kind of cloth piece. And maybe they're going to be doing some additional cloth pieces moving down the line a little bit later on. I will say, in regards to the Space Hog, when I was at this Retromania event a couple weeks back, they had a really cool Space Hog there, and I was just like, I really hope that they are going to make one now for the Super Power line, because that would be just awesome with this Lobo character.
I agree. And what I noticed was when I pulled that down, I was looking at the torso of Kilowog. So this is the Kilowog torso that they used. You can see that in the spine and the
look
traps.
at that. Traps for days.
Traps for days. So that is the Kilowog midsection there. It's funny that he is that much bigger than Kilowog, given that is his midsection, but I think that's in the legs, since the legs are a tad different, and obviously that big Wolverine style hair as well. But yeah, fully in agreement with you that the extra edition of the cloth vest is very cool for a figure that doesn't have a cape, so hopefully that is something that they continue in the future. But enough talking, let's go ahead and rate this guy. What's your rating for Lobo?
I really like it a lot. They have some really cool features on here. I like even the bedhead type of a hair. That's really cool. But just the fact that it's kind of a little too big, in my opinion, and a little too much on the animated side. I would like to rate him as a so good, but I'm only going to give him a good rating.
Yeah. I think I'm right there with you. I was actually... surprisingly, because I still really like this figure, but I think it may fit better into a line that's not Super Powers. I was actually teetering on not BS just for that reason. But I think he's too good, especially like we were talking about the cloth goods vest, the overall styling of him. As a standalone figure, I can't hate on it. So I'm not going to drop it any lower than a good as well. Also a good for me. So that pretty much leaves all of our choices, except for the Regeneration Suit Superman, is good. He was a so good. So this wave still, I think, doesn't top Wave 7 for us as our favorite wave.
It does not. I think it had the promises, but I think just some of the issues with Lobo and Garrick Flash, I think basically those two combined, just bringing those down to the good instead of the so good for me, is one of the reasons why it's not going to be topping that Wave 7.
Yep, I agree 100%. Solid wave. Very, very fun wave. I really like it overall. But yeah, like, you know, just doesn't top wave. Wave 7 for us so far has been just, I mean, top to bottom was a great wave. So we'll have to see if Wave 11, which we have a video of those leaks on our channel. Go check that out if you haven't yet. Wave 11 should be probably coming out pretty soon. And the James Gunn Superman inspired wave is Wave 12, and that should also be coming out very soon. In fact, there's already some listings up on Amazon for those. They're not active, but they have popped up. People notice those pretty quick, so they will probably be going up for pre-order closer to when the movie comes out. I don't think they're gonna put those out too far ahead of July when that movie comes out. But keep your eyes out on Amazon for those. And keep your eyes out for some updates in case there are any updates on Wave 11 or 12 or beyond. We will definitely be breaking that news on Just BSing as we always do. If you haven't liked this video already, please do so now. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so now. It'll make this old cripple feel so good if you would do that for us. Drop your comments down below. Let us know what you think about Wave 10 overall, which are your favorites from the wave. Let us know all of that down below. We'd love to hear from you guys all the time, and we will definitely respond to those comments as soon as we possibly can.
Also, let us know if you still are missing any of these action figures, which ones you're still hunting for. GameStop has been, like I said, the key for most of these. These
chase figures. If you're still looking for those, definitely let us know about that, because I know they are hard for some people to find and very easy for some people to find, which is just frustrating.
And if you find them anywhere else besides GameStop, let us know too.
For sure, for sure. I don't think anyone has found them at Walmart or Target yet.
No, and I've checked mine and
nothing.
I've seen a couple Green Lanterns there.
Yeah. No, guys, we really appreciate you guys being patient. We know so many of you have been asking about this video. Let us know what you think, and we will catch you guys in the next one.
Have a great one, guys.